make superhero comics different from other kinds of comics?
Superhero comics are interesting because they are a world in which people take the law into their own hands and solve crime by punching people until they stop doing crimes. So it's an interesting world.
The opposite of the real world.
Yeah.
If you're talking to young people,
Mm-hmm.
what would you, and these young people are interested in writing superhero comics,
Mm-hmm.
what would you say to them as advice on how to make their superheroes unique and interesting and different than the stereotypical
Sure.
idea of what a superhero is?
I feel like the first instinct is to start with the powers. Like, my superhero will have all the powers, Wolverine claws and Superman strength and everything. And that's a great place to start. But the second half of that is, who is the person with these powers? How do they feel about these powers? You look at, are they proud of them? Are they ashamed of them? How do they affect their lives? How would you react with those powers? If you were still yourself, but suddenly you could fly, what changes? So starting with the character, I think, is what makes it interesting. The powers make it fun and visual and interesting too, but the character gives it heart.
If somebody is starting their comics career, do you think that they should save up all their energy and try to get published with a publisher, or do you think that starting with webcomics or starting with self-published or print books
Sure.
is the way to start?
I mean, everyone's path is different, but what I did and what I think works well is starting with webcomics, because there's a couple reasons. One is you're practicing, you're doing the work, you're getting feedback. And my first job doing print comics with Adventure Time, I got, as my editor on that book, had read Dinosaur comics as a kid growing up. And so she's like, oh, let's get the Dinosaur comics guy. And I had thought my webcomic was just me telling jokes. What I didn't realize was it actually functioned as kind of this long form, hopefully entertaining visual resume that says, hey, this guy can meet a deadline, especially a self-imposed deadline, which are the hardest ones to meet. He knows his way around a joke, hopefully. This is the kind of stuff he does. He's attracted an audience just by doing it. So all that stuff comes from taking your work and putting it online where people can see it.
Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, my
that
pleasure.
was
Thank you for having me.
really fun and interesting, and I think that gives people a lot to think about.
Sure.
It was really dynamic. Okay. Bye!
Bye!
Oh, 2 hands! Oh, that nearly hit my face. That was awesome.